This show is brought to you by Money Tight? Need to stretch that dollar? Having a hard time finding the right thing? Searching for those sales and specials? Not great with a computer? It's no secret. Finding local sales and specials online is no longer a problem. Find what you're looking for on the Q. Join the Quick Response Shoppers Club. No need to sign up, no dues, no hassles. Just use your Q card. You can find them in stores all around Martinsburg. They're free. Just scan the quick response code with your smartphone or type in the address on the card and you're there. All sales and specials in text only for fast, easy loading, plus links to local information and local business websites in an easy-to-use format. We want to help you save money. And at the same time, we want to help local businesses grow. Join the queue today and tell your friends and family about it. We'll be out there searching for more sales and specials to bring you every week. If you have a business and want to add your sales to the queue, call us today at 304-263-4781 and join the QuickResponseShoppersClub.com. All right, folks, we got a special treat in store for you this month. Dr. Curtis Adams from Shepherd University. Thank you coming in. He's the jazz director. And he was kind enough to let us come out and film a concert they performed out there at Shepherd at the Frank Arts Center. Mm-hmm. And why don't you give us a little bit of background on yourself and what you're doing with Shepherd and all. And then right after we wrap up this interview, we're going to go straight to the concert. It was a great one, so don't forget to check that out.
Well, thanks, Dan, and thanks everybody for watching at home. And yeah, it's really great to be on the show. And I guess my little history is I came to Shepherd about 3 years ago. This is my third year now as Director of Jazz Studies. And I had taught in Idaho and taught in Georgia and been at school in Colorado, so I've lived kind of all over the map a little bit. Wow. But it was really special getting to come out to Shepherd because it's proximity to Baltimore and D.C., mm-hmm. and they have thriving jazz scenes there, so that's really fun to be a part of that. And then Shepherd's just a great school. I mean, it's really great students and a really wonderful music program. So it's been really fun to be a part of that. And
well, we'll talk about some of what you're doing on your own in a minute. Tell us, how do you put all the band members together? How do they become members of the band? Auditions and how do you choose your music and things like that?
So the bands, we audition the jazz ensembles every fall. And the top ensemble, so that's the last group that performed. Mm-hmm. That's the elite group. So they're all the best jazz players we can find at Shepherd to play, and mostly music majors. Mm-hmm. And then the lab band, that's the first band that played. That's kind of like the band for the younger players or the players that are maybe just trying out jazz for the first time. So, it's kind of the training ground, I guess. That's why we call it the lab band. And then the smaller group, you see, the combo. We have various combos through the semesters. It depends on how many students are interested in playing and that sort of thing. So this semester we have one, and it's a really great band. It's actually a lot of really experienced players, and they're writing their own music. They're writing their own arrangements.
That's pretty cool. It was that one combo. Mm-hmm. They were excellent. I was amazed. I kept thinking to myself, they wrote the music and arrangements for that one song. I don't remember the name of it now. I'm sorry, but
All of Me.
All of Me.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, how do they actually put so many different things? Jazz is such a loose music, mm-hmm. And there's a lot of improv in jazz.
Oh yeah.
And how do you write for something like that?
They try a lot of things out. For that group, they go in as almost like a workshop every time they rehearse, and for that particular song, it was the tenor sax player, Justin, that arranged it, and he had come in with some ideas, and the band tried it, and the guys were like, yeah, that's great. This is kind of strange. Maybe let's try it like this, and then he goes back and...
Strange was good?
Strange in a good way.
Yeah, this is strange, so it's
strange.
Be good.
This is good. It's weird.
Yeah, right.
And then he came back with, kind of an updated arrangement. They'd try it, work on some more stuff. And the same goes for the guitar player, Ross. He wrote his original composition that he did. Mm-hmm. Same thing. He came in with a very small seed of a tune, and they played it, and then he would work on it some more, and they would play it. So it's a really nice workshop experience for them. Yeah, it evolves as they play, and I'm sure it's probably different now because they're still working on it.
And do you know if they do much improv during it?
Oh yeah, that's the bulk of what you hear. When you have a jazz composition, especially for a small group, it's really you're writing a very small piece of music that's a vehicle for people to improvise over.
Do you allow improv during your jam set? During
the big
concerts?
bands?
Yeah.
Big band's a little differently. A
Mm-hmm.
little different. It's a more arranged art form, so it's kind of set. More structured. But within every piece, there's always sections for improvising. The second to last tune we did on the program had a whole lot of space for a lot of different people to improvise in it. The oleo arrangement.
You know, I'd be wondering if I was playing and I started to do some improv, and it's like even with interviews, you know, you get yourself up to a point and you wonder, oh, how do I get out of this? how do I end this, you know?
Right.
You know, where's the door? Get me out of here. So it takes a bit of guts to do improv.
It does. And that's like one of the big hurdles that people have to overcome when they start improvising in jazz is just kind of getting up there and doing
guts.
it. Yeah, guts.
No guts, no glory.
That's right.
One of the things that I love about jazz and blues is it is the quintessential American music.
Absolutely.
And country music too, obviously.
Yeah.
But man, jazz and blues, that is America. Nobody.
It is.
Nobody
does
any
that.
other country on earth can claim any portion of it.
Nope.
That's ours.
It's purely ours, and it really reflects, like, even our culture, you know. There's the improvisation aspect of it is structured chaos, you know, and we're kind of ready to take whatever we're given and make something great out of it.
Yep.
And then there's, for jazz and blues, there's, you know, we all play the song together, but then we all have our own thing to say on the song too. So there's individuality, but a group effort. So it's
jazz and blues, everybody lumps them together, but they really are different.
Oh yeah, they're quite different.
Yeah, why is it everybody puts them together?
I think it's because jazz is actually, you know, rooted from the blues. Blues came first, and jazz is what I tend to call, I guess, in my more professorial moments, is a blues derivative music. Professorial moments.
It's an upbeat blues. It's a more beat blues.
Yeah, more beat blues. Yeah.
Well, how many beats to the bar?
Oh, jazz, it depends what meter you're in, but, you know.
Yeah, they're a lot more than blues.
Yeah, they play a lot more notes.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, jazz, rock and roll, and even country are all derived from blues.
Yep.
You know, with some sort of different something thrown in the salad.
It's like, what country in the world could take something like blues and make it happy? You know, you listen to some good blues. If you listen to the words carefully, I mean, the man is miserable.
Oh yeah,
the woman is torturing him. It's terrible, but you can't help but smile and laugh at it. You know.
Well, yeah. It's
a good spirit. You know.
Yeah, you kind of have to, you know, laugh at yourself to make it okay.
What are the different types of jazz?
Different types of jazz. Well, you have the early jazz, which is like your Dixieland traditional jazz,
20s.
like 20s, Louis Armstrong. You know. You have the swing era, which is your
40s.
Classic big bands, the late 30s, 40s, so Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Benny Goodman,
Shaw,
Glenn Miller, all those
Harry
bands.
James, yeah.
Then in the late 40s, 50s, you had the bebop movement, so Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie. And then that moved into the hard bop, we call it post-bop, music of the 60s, which incorporated free jazz.
Yeah,
into it. It was free, right? Yeah.
That was if there was ever a year, decade for experimental music, I'd say 65 to 75 was the most experimental. I mean, that's when they came in with the Moog synthesizer.
Oh yeah.
Jimi Hendrix was doing things with a guitar that nobody thought possible.
Right.
Never even dreamed of.
Right. The chains were off, so to speak.
Oh yeah. It was like, just go for it, man. Anything. Some of the great ones, you know. One of the fastest guitarists I've ever seen in my life was Alvin Lee, 10 Years After.
Oh, yeah?
You've never...
Alvin Lee, haven't heard.
All right, well, when we're done with the show... I'm
going to look it up.
Alvin Lee, 10 Years After, he was at Woodstock with the band, and he did a song called Going Home. And that man's hands move so fast on the strings. Oh, my goodness.
I got to hear it.
It's just amazing. Now, which type of jazz do you teach? All of the different?
Yes. We address as much of the history of the music as we can in all the ensembles and any classes that we have. But primarily for me, the one that I like gravitate towards and love is the music of the jazz of the 50s and 60s. That's really...
You like that old rock and roll era stuff.
Yeah, I like that too. That's
well, you play the tenor sax.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a tenor saxophonist. So, anything that's got the big, powerful tenor to it, I like. A lot of Coltrane and Sonny Rollins.
Oh yeah, John Coltrane. There's some good music.
Very.
Now, you guys play. Is it always the college, university? Is it always at the Frank Arts Center? Do you tour any?
Oh, we do. We play other places. We tour to high schools in the area, things like that. And then from time to time, we will take a trip and play at a festival or a conference somewhere like that, too.
And what's the big jazz festival?
The big jazz festival, well, there's so many festivals.
There's one.
There was in New Orleans.
Oh,
it's huge.
New Orleans. There was the... and now, of all things, I was thinking about this all day, and it just went right out of my head. There's not much there to keep things in. It's just a lot of space. It just kind of floats around. Forget it. Out the air it goes. Almost had it. Come on, the big Newport.
Oh, yeah. Newport. There's also Litchfield Jazz Festival in Connecticut and Montreux out in California.
Do they have jazz festivals that are close to Martinsburg?
Jazz festival. Well, there's D.C. has a few different jazz festivals throughout the year. I know one of the Virginia suburbs, Arlington or Alexandria, I can't remember which, has a festival in September.
Do you ever play there?
I haven't played that one. And then D.C. has a jazz festival that goes on in October. And it's actually like a neighborhoods-driven festival, which is pretty interesting. So the various districts in the district will have their own venues and things like that. That's really nifty.
What always amazes me is the jam sessions and the improvs. Obviously the best music I've ever heard played were at jam sessions. I grew up in New York City.
Oh yeah.
And we used to go down to Greenwich Village after they, you get in before they lock the doors.
Right. Yeah.
And musicians from all over New York would show up at these different clubs down in the village. And they'd get in there, and then if you got in before they locked the doors and closed for the night,
right,
you get in there and you watch these guys. It's the best players in the world.
Oh yeah.
And they just get in there, and that's when they played for themselves.
Yes.
And it was fun.
Yes.
And oh my goodness. There was a place here in Martinsburg, and unfortunately went out of business, the Hideaway Club, and they had a blues jam night there every Monday night.
Okay.
And people would get in, and they just sign up on the list, and they
go play.
Up. And what always amazed me was, you see bands rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse to do it really right. But those nights, these guys would get together, and many of them never played together.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And yet they'd get up there and do a number, and it would just blow me away. And there's one I use a lot on Mace TV, is done by a guy named Skip, who owns Skip's Custom Cycles, I think it is, down in Winchester.
Yeah.
He plays the sax. And oh my God, he does a number on that. Then there's another gentleman, I've forgotten his name, I apologize if he watches, I'm sorry. But good guitar player, good singer, and he mixes Painted Lows.
Nice.
And these guys who do everything else, they would get here on Monday nights and get together and do these blues nights, all improv, all just make it up as you go and hang on.
Yeah.
And what always amazed me, though, is for the most part, it all sounded like really well-rehearsed tunes,
Yeah.
But they never even played together before.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you guys do that?
Well, we have, I guess, what we call a common vocabulary that we share.
You speak music.
We speak music. We speak jazz, we speak blues, and just like we're having a conversation here, the tune is the topic, and then we all have a vocabulary of musical words and phrases that we use.
That's interesting. That's fascinating. I never thought of that.
And we generally kind of follow the rules of conversation. You know, if one person's talking, you don't really talk over them, but you might interject something every now and then just to agree with them. See?
Yeah.
So it's
a bit of a couple of notes in the background.
Yeah. So we kind of follow. That's the general format that we follow, and
it's amazing.
And we all just kind of have learned it through the years.
Now, how many concerts do you do a year at Shepherd?
3 big jazz concerts we do. But then the Department of Music, we do so much. It's
listed on the community service announcements page on Talk of the Town here, and their calendar of events is there. If you click on the link, it'll even take you to their website. It'll open up their PDF with all of your shows listed.
It's an astounding amount of stuff we do.
It really is. It's amazing. And it's not all just jazz, blues, classical music, all kinds of different
opera,
concerts. Yes.
orchestras, band music. We have everything you could ever want and
opera.
more.
I don't know, every time I hear opera, the first thing that pops into my head is that Brunhilde woman with the big iron
the horns,
there it is.
Yeah.
I enjoy certain operas, but I'm not a big opera fan. But there are some I like. I love classical music, good classical music.
Oh yeah.
Some of the stuff is really phenomenal. I like anything that is really well done.
Agreed.
Well, now it's December, and this show goes live on Talk of the Town December 1st, and will likely be archived. And why don't you tell us about what you have coming up in December?
In December, December 1st, this Saturday is our holiday gala, and we're doing it a little differently this year. We're having a narrator read Towards the Night Before Christmas, and then between the various stanzas of the poem, we're going to have musical numbers. So it's kind of a neat.
Oh, that's cool.
It's neat. It's a neat
that's
thing.
At the Frank Arts Center this coming
Saturday night,
December 1st. What time?
7:30, and then Sunday is
that's jazz.
Jazz is part of it. So we'll have. It's the jazz ensemble, the wind ensemble, and the choirs.
Wow.
And we're going to mix it all up. So jazz will be about a third. And then we're doing one big joint number at the end. That's 2 carols that the director of choral activities, Eric Jones, he did a mashup of these 2 carols. And then Dr. Scott Hippensteel and myself, he arranged one of the carols for the wind ensemble, and I arranged the other one for the jazz ensemble. And then at the end, they both get put together. So it's really this kind of neat trifecta of music going on.
I'm not sure about my schedule, but would you guys think it'd be cool if I came in and filmed that one?
Yeah. Come on down.
I don't know if I could miss filming that one. That one sounds good. That one sounds really. They're all good. But that one sounds really interesting.
And if you can't make it Saturday or you have little ones, come on out Sunday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, because that's when Santa comes.
Oh, cool.
So Santa's going to come, and we're going to have a carol sing-along at the end.
Nice.
So if you have little ones, the Sunday is the...
At Frank Arts Center.
Frank Arts Center, yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
You folks, like I said, don't forget, you can keep up with what's going on out there at the college, the university for the musical shows on the community announcements page on Talk of the Town. And I get emails from Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones, Eric Jones.
Eric Jones. And Dr. Hippensteel. I chat with him once in a while. And yourself.
Yeah.
And so we try to keep you apprised of the music scene here in the area.
It's a great one.
Yeah, it is. Is there anything else you want to say to folks?
No, just thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the concert that we're about to show.
Oh, yeah, it was great. I really did enjoy it. So check it out. And with any luck, this Saturday night, I'll have the ability to come out and take that one he was just talking about, and possibly have that on the January show on Mesa's Alley. Thank you, everybody, for watching in. Enjoy the jazz. And thank you.
Thank you.